The tortoise and the hare is probably 100 to 1,000 times more applicable to me today than it ever was to me as a kid. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the American Dream podcast show. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the American Dream. Our core principles, all our shows are based off of, and what our business is going to be based off of is what we call F6. And the F6 stands for faith, family, fitness, finance, firearms, and freedom. Those are the 6 core principles that we live by, and we wanted to incorporate into this podcast as well as the business. So that is what the American Dream is built on. Also, if you're new to the channel, my name is Josh. I am I guess you could call it, founder of the American Dream podcast, and you'll see the business as the year progresses a little bit. But yeah, I'm 23 years old. I'm a aspiring entrepreneur who has tried some things, failed at some things, has made some mistakes, and I am just here to show you my entire journey of being an entrepreneur and what I'm learning, but also how I'm developing as a person. I feel like that's what's really going to help get the American Dream mission across to everybody that sees any of this content, that shops at the store, any of that, which store isn't up yet, but it will be soon. But yeah, our mission is to just make America better than it has ever been. And to do that, it takes personal excellence. I'm a huge fan, I consider him a mentor. It's Andy Frisella. He has a saying that personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. And I feel like personal excellence is going to be what will make America the best it has ever been. And so I want this podcast, I want my business to embody that to the best that it possibly can. That way we can help make America better than it ever has been. There's no payment for the show. The only products we will promote are the ones that I believe in, the ones that truly patriotic, that want to see America the best it's been. And the thing is, I don't think I will ever take payment for promoting any of those. I do not want to hinder any business at all. So I'll promote the ones that I love and I truly believe in for free. So you're not going to get any crazy ads, nothing like that on this, except for probably my products, but which we don't have any yet. But we're not going to charge you anything for this. The only payment that I ask for is that you would please share the show. A lot of the stuff that we talk about, and just content like mine, like Andy's, like a whole bunch of people's, gets traffic banned, traffic throttled, just because the opposition does not want this message to get out, because then we become harder to control. So I just ask that you would please share it with as many people as you can. Make sure you are subscribed to the show. And then, so you don't miss out on anything, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, the Waypoint, and also check out our Facebook group called the Rally Point. So today's topic is going to be about a childhood story, the tortoise and the hare. As many people know, tortoise and a hare was a staple in most people's childhoods. Because I'm not married, I don't have kids, I'm not around kids really, I'm not around people who have kids. So I don't know if that's still a story that's told. My guess in today's culture, it's probably not. But to me, I can't remember what brought it up into my mind the other day, but I was sitting there thinking, and it popped to my head. The tortoise and the hare is probably 100 to 1,000 times more applicable to me today than it ever was to me as a kid. And so I dove into it. I took a deep dive and just really looked at how it could apply to my life now. And it was actually kind of mind-blowing to see how applicable it is today. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. And so I hope you guys get a lot of value out of this episode. Make sure you're subscribed. Let me know what you think about the tortoise and the hare. And if you have kids, let me know if it's something that your kids have heard. But other than that, let's go ahead and jump into it today. The very first thing that I noticed, because I went back and just read through the short story of the tortoise and the hare. I mean, obviously the odds were completely stacked against the tortoise. But despite those odds, despite the hare mocking the tortoise, all of that, the tortoise still took action. One of the hardest things you will ever do in life is taking action when the odds are stacked against you. Whether it's monetarily, whether it is just you have no support from your family, your friends, just whether your health isn't great, you are always going to have reasons for you not to do something. But the thing is, you just have to find one reason, one good reason to do something, and then take action on it to actually see something great happen. It's the hardest thing to do, but it's the best thing you could possibly do, is taking action when the odds are stacked against you. When you defy the odds one time, it starts to snowball. You start to defy the odds as you go along in life. It may be something small like getting in shape. Yeah, you may be like maybe 100, 150 pounds overweight. The odds are not good for you to get back to a healthy weight, to get in shape, and the odds are definitely not in your favor to get jacked. But when you take action to defy those odds and you do the thing anyways, you will find that it is so much easier to do so many other things that you never thought were possible, that people have told you you could not do. Just because you did one thing that was hard, one thing that the odds weren't in your favor, one thing that somebody mocked you over, you did that one thing, and now you're doing so many great things. All it takes is doing that one hard thing, that one thing that you feel like you don't have a chance, one thing that you feel like everything is against you. It takes that one time to build the confidence, to build the momentum, to start doing things that you never thought were possible. What you have to do is you have to use that mocking, use those negative comments, use the statistics, the numbers, use those things to fuel you. A lot of people always think that you have to have positive motivation to fuel you, to make you want to do stuff, when often the best motivation you will ever have is all the negative energy that is thrown your way. When you learn to capture the negative energy, when you learn to facilitate it and filter it into areas of your life to make you better, to make you work harder, when you find a way to use negative energy to your advantage, nothing will get in your way. So the first thing that you have to do is take the action when the odds are stacked against you. But that is just the beginning. First step is taking the action. But then the second thing that you have to do, that the tortoise did and the hare didn't do, is take consistent action. If you look back at the story of the tortoise and the hare got far enough ahead, looked back over his shoulder, and saw how far ahead he was, that he went ahead, took some time off, took a nap. But you know what the tortoise did? The tortoise may have been going slower at first, or he may have been going the same speed the whole race. But because the tortoise never stopped, it took consistent action, it was able to surpass the hare, who decided to take a day off, take some time off. And that's the thing in life, with anything. Consistent action is always going to be better than a roller coaster full of action and inaction. Because what happens is when you are consistent, that momentum starts to snowball bigger and bigger and bigger. And when you are consistent and have that momentum, people that take days off, people that take time off away from goals that are similar to yours or that are in the same industry as yours, when they take time off, when they think they can let off the gas, that is when you blow by them, because you are constantly going every single day. We have always heard that the fastest way to get from point A to point B is a straight line, and it could not be more true. Because if you think about it, take consistency. Say you're inconsistent and you're on a roller coaster of activity and inactivity. Well, think about it. You have a high of activity, you come down to a low of inactivity, you're going up and down this whole time from point A to point B. But then you take consistent action. Yeah, the speed may not be as fast, but you're going from that same point A to point B, and you're just going straight across. Who's going to get there first? person going in a straight line, because the one on a roller coaster is going so much farther. They have to work so much harder to get back up here, and then even harder to get back up here, that it makes it super hard to get from point A to point B. And it takes a lot longer. So, we've got take action when the odds are stacked against you. And then you have to be consistent with that action to get from point A to point B. And then the third thing that you have to do, looking back at the tortoise and the hare story, is when the hare mocked the tortoise, when the hare took a nap, rubbing it in, gloating, whatever you want to call it. When the hare did all that, the tortoise didn't respond. The tortoise said, let's race. The tortoise kept a level head the whole time, and it won the race. That is something that I myself struggle with very hard. To be honest, I used to really hold a lot of stuff just in. I don't know what it was. And I still hold some of it in. But I've noticed as I've come out of my shell more, I let my emotions get more involved in my decision making. And it hurts my decision making a lot of the time. So this is something that I'm definitely having to work, is being level-headed. What happens when you're level-headed is you have a clear mind. You can make clear decisions in good times and in bad times. That means you're not getting too excited when you have good times, and you're not getting too down on yourself when you have bad times. I've noticed it's getting better in my life, because recently it just felt like a crap storm of stuff just happened. And it really sucked. One of the things that happened was my car, that only has 80,000 miles on it, blew the motor. And it was really a big gut punch. I could tell it bothered me for about probably 48 hours. It really bothered me, which it needs to not even do that. It's a lot of progress from what it would have done to me in the past. But when you have that level head, you can make clear decisions, good decisions, quick decisions, which then helps you maintain the momentum that you've built, that you worked so hard to build. Too often, people will let their emotions get too high, too involved in their decision making, that it completely wipes out any momentum they have. In the last few years, I became an emotional eater, and that's how I put on so much weight. And now I'm having to really fight to lose the fat and put muscle on. And it's not easy. But I was an emotional eater, and by doing that, I lost any momentum I have. Yeah, I might go to the gym for a couple weeks, a month, but it took one time of me getting super stressed out, one time of getting upset, something, that I go and eat a whole pizza and God knows what else to give me that dopamine hit to make me feel good for about an hour, and then I get even more depressed and more upset because I just wrecked everything that I'd already built. Too often we get in that cycle of we'll build some momentum, and then something will come along that our emotions get the best of us, and we end up going way back to where we were or even farther down. So being level-headed lets us make clear decisions that help us keep our momentum, and then it helps us set an example. If you're a leader of any kind, whether it's in a business, whether it's at school, whether it's in a church, whether it's in your community, if you're in any type of role, you always have people looking to you, looking to see how you respond to situations. And when you have a level head, that helps them have a level head. Because the worst thing that can happen is when a leader does not have a level head, starts panicking, starts letting their emotions affect their decisions, and then it affects the whole team in a negative way. You get panic from your team members, you get team members thinking they need to go out and make their own decisions on stuff, and it completely breaks apart a team. When you've got a level head that helps you make clear decisions and help you keep momentum, your team members see that, and they will sit there, they'll feed off your energy and know that everything's going to be okay, because by you keeping a level head, your team will keep a level head, and that means that momentum that you have built will continue to grow, and you will make it through whatever comes your way. Never did I think a story that I heard as a young child would have such a big impact on what I'm doing and how I do things today. But sometimes the best way to move forward is to go backward. And today I had to go all the way back to my childhood. I learned some things, and I hope you learned some things that will stick with you forever. The tortoise and the hare are so much more relevant today as an adult than it ever was as a kid. If you want to reach your goals and be successful, you have to continually take action, even when the odds are stacked against you, even when people are mocking you to your face. And once you start your journey, you have to be consistent, because consistent action will help you reach your goals the fastest. And to help you maintain that momentum, maintain that consistency, you have to keep a level head. You can't be affected by the negative or the positive, because you're going to have good things and you're going to have bad things that happen to you throughout life. You have to become uncompromisable. And I want you guys to be the very best that you could possibly be in everything that you do, whether it's parenting, whether it's being a spouse, whether it's being a leader at a business, whether it's owning a business, whether it's a leader in your community. I want you guys to be the very best you could possibly be. Remember, personal excellence is going to help us build this country to the best it's ever been. And to do that, to achieve that, it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with taking a personal look into your own life and realizing that you have things that you need to be working on, and then taking the action, even when it's not the common thing, even when it's not the socially acceptable thing that you need to do. The world, the opposition, the enemy, the government wants you to be a slave, wants you to rely on them. They don't want you to be your own person. And you have to do the complete opposite of that and become the best person that you can be. I hope you guys got tons and tons and tons of value out of this episode today. It's crazy how much you can learn from a story that you heard when you were 3, 4, or 5 years old. If your kids, or if you're not sure if your kids have heard the story about the tortoise and the hare, tell it to them. It's super short. But not only tell them the story and read it to them, tell them how you interpret it. Tell them what it means to you, especially after hearing this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know if I missed something. Let me know if you have something better to add. If you've got another childhood story that you think could pull a lot of value from, let me know. This was actually a really enjoyable activity for me, and I enjoyed every bit of creating this episode. That is all that I have for you guys today. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you share it. Make sure you're a part of the Waypoint and the Rally Point. I'll have all the links down in the description for you below. Guys, this is going to be awesome. I'm already telling you, I've been working super hard on our first product, and it's going to be great. It's pulling back the curtain a little bit on what the big goal is. And I'm super excited for it to launch. I don't want to go too fast because I want it to be good for you guys. So keep your eyes open. My guess would be March or April. I know that's still a couple months away, but it's coming up faster than you think. Keep your eyes open for it. Make sure you're subscribed. I love you guys. And remember that success takes work. Work takes time, and time is limited. So time to get out there and get to work. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.